Welcome to Looking Within, a podcast to help you quiet your mind, settle your body, and see God's presence in your everyday life. I'm Julie. I hope our time together will help you to feel more grounded, whole, and filled with a growing desire to be a conduit of God's love and presence to the world around you. Now, let's begin. Happy Easter, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful Easter celebration this past weekend. Lent is now past. Winter has disappeared, and we've moved into the season of spring, and that feels so good. A week or so ago, a coworker called us outside into the courtyard of our church. She showed us a whole corner of a garden area that was filled with yellow crocuses. It was so fun to see those. What had just days before been hidden bulbs sprouting under the soil had turned into a bevy of beautiful and most welcomed spring flowers, some of the first messengers of the optimism and promise of spring. The first flowers of the season always feel like a wake-up call of sorts, a symbolic reminder for us to break through the crustiness of winter and to look at our lives with fresh eyes. I love that about the changing seasons. These periods of transition provide us with a chance to re-examine our journey, especially our inner journey. These transition points give us a chance to realign our path, our practices, our routines, our lives. We tend to forget that our life is not static. It's dynamic, able to be changed and re-envisioned at any point along the way. That makes me think of yesterday's Easter story, the ultimate story of change, transition, and a new life. We're told that the risen Christ came out of the grave looking so different from Jesus that Mary Magdalene didn't even recognize him, her dearest friend, when they met up outside Jesus' tomb. Jesus must have been changed in some dramatic way, reinvigorated, made stronger and refreshed, and freed from all that can weigh humans down. Though this type of radical physical change will not be ours to experience for now, new life, a renewed inner life, is already and always available to us. Jesus holds out this promise for change and renewal, that he has come that we might have and enjoy life and have it in abundance to the full till it overflows, as it says in John 10:10. Renewed life is available to us every day. And like the spring crocuses, moving from bulbs to shoots to breaking through the soil, renewed life often happens in steps and spurts of growth, in new versions of us experienced in the seasons of life along our journey. I forget sometimes that there is always new and re-envisioned life to be found inside of me. I can get focused only on my struggles, on things that I don't like or want in my life. I can easily become frozen in the darkness and cold of my inner winter, completely forgetting that the freshness and vibrancy of spring are always sure to follow winter's dormancies. Maybe you too get stuck in an inner winter at times. Thankfully, like the beginning of a new year, the coming of spring always brings us a fresh start, a chance to wake up, to pay closer attention to the hope and optimism that can be found on the next part of our path as we walk out on the way. Today, as we come out of Lent and Easter, as we continue to emerge from the winter and year of pandemic, I'm imagining we're all longing for a renewed sense of new life. We are those crocus bulbs that have been hidden in the dark, cold soil, but now There's something stirring in us. Perhaps we have enough strength just to barely break through the crusty soil. But you know what? That's all the strength we need. For Christ is right here, waiting to give us the sunlight, fresh air, and life-giving water that we need to come alive again. One of my favorite Bible verses is Isaiah 58:11. It reminds me of spring and of the life-giving presence of Christ waiting to spring up inside of us during any of the many, many transitional moments on our journey. The verse says, "The Lord will guide you continually, satisfying your needs, giving you water in parched places, and restoring your strength. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring of water, whose waters never fail." Listen again to the wonderful images and assurances in this verse. The Lord will guide you continually, satisfying your needs, giving you water in parched places, and restoring your strength. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring of water, whose waters never fail. It is time to shed the dry crustiness that's clinging to us from the winter. And if you're feeling a little lost, weakened, and parched from the year now past, then remember the risen Christ is always present to guide and strengthen you. Let's think about this during our quiet moments together. In this quiet space and time, I'd invite you to gently close your eyes and to take a few deep breaths in and out, in and out. Hear the sound of the bowl calling you to look within. Let it center you. Let it awaken you to God's presence. So, what's going on in your life as spring returns? Like the crocus shoot, you are emerging from the parched winter soil, perhaps needing God's guidance, strength, or renewal. Feel the presence of the risen Christ with you right now. Breathe in the fresh air of His new life. Be warmed and filled by His love. I'll be back with you in about 2 minutes. Take one more minute to be present to the new life of spring and the risen Christ. Remind yourself often of this new life within you. Let it bring a smile to your face and to your heart. I'd invite you now to take a few deep breaths in and out. In and out. Hear the bowl sound calling you back to this day. Gently open your eyes, remaining still for a moment longer. It's spring. Dry and crusty has become fresh and new. As the perennials shoot up out of the soil, as the birds, buds, and spring rains make their annual appearances, be awake and present to that new life that is there for you too. Today and in the coming days, feel the presence of the risen Christ always by your side, ready to guide and strengthen you, ready to renew you in ways that help you to be that well-watered garden, that spring of water, whose waters never fail. Thank you for making time for your inner self today, for developing and enriching your relationship with God through reflection and discovery. Whatever you've experienced, carry that with you in the coming days. You can find more episodes at our website, Gloria-Day, that's DEI.com/lookingwithinpodcast, or subscribe through your favorite podcast app. If you know someone who might enjoy and benefit from this podcast, share it with them. Your financial contributions make this ministry possible. To give, visit gloria-day.com/giving. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.